I'm back and here to make more fucking videos on shit that's fucking bothering the fuck out of me. Now, if you guys don't know, I already have two videos that I've done before on Kendall Ray's bitch ass on how she fucking almost gave people an ultimatum kind of bullshit, which I did not fucking like, and I'm gonna go explain further into this video why Patreon must be stopped. Now, I am not 100% against Patreon, and this is the reason why. As you can see here on the screen, I'm actually subscribed to this YouTuber here. Her name is Ariane. So basically, she has been the first person to ever mention Patreon. I don't know any other YouTuber that I've watched or came by that has done Patreon or has mentioned Patreon before Ariane, at least for me. As you can see, she's been launching her Patreon campaign for 5 months now. If you guys actually go onto her Patreon page, this is the difference between people like her that actually give out exclusive recipes and questions answered, live chats with her when you become a Patreon. Now, like Kendall Ray said, oh, there's quote unquote tiers to Patreon. Most people have tiers, so anywhere from $1. As you can see here, this is for $25. And look what it just says here, the stuff that you get. Because you have been making soap for a while, now you've been thinking it's time to turn your craft into an income. At this level, I will help you find some tools that will get you started. Half an hour private chat or 15-minute phone call with me to talk all things soap related. Book your spot and prepare your questions. And it's all other stuff that's already above, which is including $1. And this is at the $25 mark, which is not that much in comparison to these fuckers like Kendall Ray that fucking goes all the way up to $1,000. And the bitch doesn't even give you a phone call on what conspiracy she's working on, or maybe give you guys an insight or to be prepared on what she's gonna come out with. Like nothing. She just wants you to pay her for fucking nothing, basically. At least, for instance, Ariane, like I mentioned in my other video, she's a soap maker. So she actually has some fucking talent other than sitting in the front of her fucking bed. And this is where I have the problem with Patreon. See, things like this, I would understand. It's like, okay, your subscription, you get to ask this person that's a pro at what she does questions that you may not get completely answered, because if you guys see her channel here, she does have quite a big following. She has 86,000. So when you have that amount of subscribers and you have, your videos over thousands and thousands of views, that's a lot of comments to go through, and it's just almost physically impossible to go through that many fucking comments, because this is not what YouTube isn't her livelihood. And this is another thing that I really enjoy about Patreon with these kind of people, and I'm gonna explain to you guys why. She doesn't depend 100% on YouTube. She does this as a side, and yet she still does great videos while she does what her profession is soap making, because she's an entrepreneur. Another perfect example that I can show you guys that actually has a talent and has a fucking business other than fucking YouTube is Camp Kenan. He also too has a Patreon. Now I'm also subscribed to him, and he sells his tortoises, turtles, and all that, and the bag of chips. Now he mentions it just a little bit, but he doesn't make that his whole fucking scene of his video. Of course, yeah, you're gonna want to mention it, but one thing that I can respect about Ariane and the channel Camp Kenan is that he doesn't 100% rely on his livelihood on YouTube, and that's the mistake that a lot of fucking people make. He actually has talent other than that. He educates people. He works with different sanctuaries where he lives in Florida. He actually comes out with some great content. Like, he's actually out and about showing people, and I think that is a person that's, I would understand that you would want to support. He actually has a website that he owns himself that shows all different types of great information on everything to do with tortoises, reptiles, and it just doesn't have to be with tortoises or turtles, with any kind of reptile for that matter. And he's very knowledgeable, and he spreads that knowledge to people that are either consumers in the market of buying reptiles. And yeah, he does a lot of cool things. Same thing with Ariane. I mean, these are two completely different fields. I mean, he educates people on reptiles, and Ariane does education on soap making. So, I mean, these are two different things, two different, completely different parts of YouTube different parts of the spectrum, but it just goes to show that there's different types of people that can do completely different things, but the way that they go about their Patreon is a more respectable way. I'm gonna just go to Ariane's page here since it's already open. You can see how much money she's actually making. Now, when Kendall Ray was doing this, she had her goal is 2,000 a month. If you actually go to, is that how you spell her fucking irrelevant name? See how she only put this fucking bullshit? Before, she used to have the same thing, and all she fucking puts is some bullshit. And before, you would be able to see how many people were actually supporting her. So if you go back on Ariane's page, you can see how many people are supporting her on tier 4, for example. So this is at $20 a month. 5 people doing tier 4 would be $100. So basically going through each tier and counting the people and the money, people would be able to guesstimate on how much she's making off of this fucking website. Well, now she fucking made it all private because now she's making far beyond that amount of money, which to me is a fucking, it's honestly, it disgusts me because at this point, she's just robbing you guys is what the fuck is going on here. Why would the fuck would you hide the fucking number that you're making? You were showing it when you were crying to everybody saying that no one was there. You were fucking at $1,000, or I think you were at $1,000 when you fucking made that video, crying that no one's fucking on your Patreon, that you can't pay your fucking bills. And last time that I fucking checked, you were almost at $4,000, and you fucking privated it and privated all this bullshit, so we couldn't even guesstimate or estimate, how much this fucking cunt was making on here. Now you're just making way over the amount. Here in California, it's fucking $10.50 the minimum wage. If you fucking worked 6 days a fucking week and some days overtime, after they fucking take away basically $1,000,001 things after taxes, it's like your fucking paycheck is only gonna come out to be like $500 a week. So the average person makes about $2,000 a month, and that's working full fucking time. And this fucking stupid bitch was trying to compare, I'm gonna have to work a normal job, or this and that, kind of making it feel like she was gonna give people an ultimatum. And you know what? I don't like to be fucking forced to do absolutely anything. These YouTubers don't make minimum wage. So what happens is they're very used to living a luxurious lifestyle. These people make way more fucking money than the average person. So when they start making normal people money, they start complaining and saying that they can't pay their bills, because in reality, this is the way the world works. The more money you have, the more things you get, the more expenses you have, and that's pretty much just what I'm trying to get at this point, right? Like, that's just what I'm trying to explain here.